Hey guys, it's Tom Cherryums with the FujiNet project, and I'm making a work in progress video showing the current state of what I'm calling slot to slot copy. That is, being able to copy a single file from one host slot to another. For example, taking a file from a remote TNFS server and copying it to your local SD card slot for easier access. I have been rather reticent to implement this particular feature because config has become ever increasingly larger in size, but you guys have been very insistent on this feature being added, so I'm trying to add this in the best way that I can, so you can see where things exist at this particular point in time. We start by looking at config. We have a number of host slots, and I'm going to take and copy a game from Atari Apps in the games folder. And this can be any file, it can be any disk image, it can be any XEX, it doesn't matter. It's extremely agnostic in what it copies. It just provides a very quick way to take and copy a single file that exists either in the SD card slot or on a TNFS server somewhere and copy it from one slot to another. We'll go into AAP here, and I will pick a copy of Pinball Construction Set. We'll pick this guy right here, sure, why not? And if you press C, the menu down below got wiped out here. So I'm going to take and move the file view up ever so slightly so you can see this more effectively. But if we press C, it gives us the opportunity to take and copy to a host slot. I'm going to take and copy this to the local SD card slot, because sure, why not? It doesn't matter where I copy it. It's extremely agnostic, and it gives me the opportunity to take and pick a destination folder, whatever. The filter that I used in the source is still active here, so of course it's being used in my destination as well. Now, we'll see once the copy starts, we can press C again to do the operation. We'll go ahead and we will copy it. And once this happens, the copy happens entirely on the FujiNet. And once it's done, there it is, ready to go. And we can, for example, go ahead and choose it to select it, put it in a particular device slot. It's now sitting on the SD card slot, and I will boot it from this point. And we'll see how well this actually works here. Like I said, there are a number of issues that I need to work out. You saw right there, for example, that it was it went ahead and went into the existing folder that was already there. I need to take and alter the behavior ever so slightly to prevent that from happening, but it's all dealable. And you can see right here that Pinball Construction Set boots up. Everything is all nice and neat. Now, there are a couple of error messages that come up, and whether or not they're error messages, you can take and judge. If you copy a large file, say a 16 megabyte disk image, there's a chance that it will not complete in the time that we've set for the timeout, in which case it will take and give you a message stating that it's still copying the file and give you an opportunity to wait for the activity light to finish, at which point the copy will be completed and you can press the return key, spacebar key, whatever, to continue. So with that, we're actually going to do one more copy here as an example. We'll hit reset on the FujiNet, press select again. We will go ahead and eject Pinball Construction Set, and I will do another copy here. We'll pick something else. Doesn't really matter, but let's say, sure. Again, it really doesn't matter. All it's doing is it's just agnostically copying the software over. I'm just using ATX as an example here. As a matter of fact, you know what? We'll go back over here and we'll go to Games. We'll go to HomeSoft, and we'll pick something from the HomeSoft collection. And I'll pick a copy of Canyon Climber. At which point you can see right there the copy command. Press C for the copy command. And we're going to take and copy this over to my local TNFS server. No problem. It has no problem doing that. And we come over here. Okay, great. And select here. Sure. At which point, copy. And there's Canyon Climber. At this point, we can select it, mount it, and boot it. And there it is. As you can see, it's kind of going to be an interesting thing to take and try and improve this as best I can. Config is very much in danger of becoming a complete file manager. And I don't think that's really a good thing for this particular program to have. But since you guys asked about this particular feature, I tried as best I could to implement this as best I can. Now, I'm still working out more of the edge cases, getting everything working as need be, but it's coming along, and you'll be seeing more of it in the next week or so. So, until next time, guys, have fun.